So let's get started. Mazum will be answering questions in the chat. Alia will be asking me some questions. Oh, this is the first slide. Oh, I was confused. So this is actually the first slide. Um, yeah, hacking college applications, insider tips and tricks from a Stanford graduate. That would be me. And yeah, let's go first. I'm Senan. So I graduated from Stanford like 3 months ago. In June, I graduated. I studied economics and international relations. I'm from Pakistan, but I've lived all over. I was born in Saudi Arabia. I lived in Dubai. I lived in Germany. I did my high school from Pakistan, and yeah, came to the US for college, and I'm still living in the US. And yeah, that's a little bit about me. I'm also, of course, the co-founder and CEO of Kollegio. So I worked in private college admissions counseling after getting into Stanford for a couple of years. I helped over 100 plus students get into college. And when the generative AI boom hit and AI began coming into the world, I really began thinking about how it would be possible to combine AI with college admissions counseling together to solve the fundamental problem in the industry, which is that there's so many brilliant, smart, hardworking students out there that simply do, don't have access to college admissions counseling and then aren't able to realize their full potential in terms of what colleges they're able to get into. So that was the problem we sought out to solve in Kollegio. And it's 100% free product. I hope all of you are using it and are telling your friends about it and things like that as well. We're going to have like different types of sessions for people who are able to refer their friends and things like that in the future. And please engage with us on social media, on our Instagram. I don't know if there's a slide for our social media, but it's pretty easy, like Kollegio on Instagram, on TikTok. Please do follow us. Um, would appreciate all of that. But let's get into some questions. So Alia, would you like to start asking some questions? All of these
Sure.
questions, yeah, all of these questions are submitted beforehand by you guys, and we'll do a Q&A at the end also.
Yeah, sounds good. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining. So we can get started with some questions for Sanan. So one question was just overall, how would you describe your experience at Stanford?
Yeah, I think it was definitely an amazing experience. So my first year was COVID, and I came to the US in January of 2021. So Stanford has a quarter system. Uh, I don't know, Mosm, if you can disable the drawing on the screen potentially. But my first quarter was online, so I had to take classes online from Pakistan, which was tough. Taking classes until 3, 4 in the morning. And then afterwards, yeah, came to Stanford in 2021. It was a really amazing experience. You meet some of the most smart people in the world there. A lot of my friends were, Olympiad winners, actual Olympians, uh, sons and daughters of billionaires, like princes. Like it's pretty crazy. Uh, Phoebe Gates, Bill Gates' daughter, graduated with me. Like there's a lot of these types of people around, like high profile, but then also lower profile. And I think it can be really tough uh, to find your own niche and to find what you care about. But I think I was really lucky that I found a great group of friends initially who were really able to, um, help me feel welcome. And, we navigated the college experience together. But yeah, of course, it's a great school. It's beautiful. It's in California. It's warm. The campus is amazing. Uh, yeah, it was a great experience all around.
Okay, awesome. Sounds good. So now we can maybe move more towards the application. So a lot of people asked, what do you think stood out in your application, or what do you think Stanford is looking for in applicants?
Yeah, of course. So I think Stanford is very interesting in the sense that it has, uh, on one end of the spectrum, it has the most high achieving students in terms of academics. So it has people who are Olympiad winners, people who get world distinctions, etc. And on the other end of the spectrum, also, it takes people who don't have that great academics. So for me, like I was always in the top 5-10% of my class, but I was never in that number one spot, especially in the last 2 years of high school. Like I had very good grades, but I was never like at that extreme elite level. But Stanford still considered me because of the things within my application that they really liked. So after you get into Stanford, they actually send you a small note, about 4 or 5 sentences about what they like the most. So for me, one, they really liked that I how I wrote and how I was able to express myself in my essays. So essays are extremely important. Like I can't emphasize this enough. And it's something that students really struggle with. I know there are a lot of international students, or there are people who are first generation college students, or people who don't have access to great essay writing resources. So that's something we really wanted to build out in Kollegio, and have like great essay writing tools for you guys to use. So imagine, so they mentioned my writing twice. So out of 5 bullet points, 2 of them were writing. And then the next thing that they said was they really like my clear passion for a specific area. And that area was history and politics and social science. So I really demonstrated that clearly in my application. And it kind of told a story throughout. So my recommendation, my essays, my extracurriculars, my additional info, my awards and honors, everything was basically shaped around that specific narrative. And that was extremely important for me getting in. And then I also had a really important extracurricular activity where I founded an NGO in Pakistan. We all like it started out with my friends and I in my backyard. My house in Karachi in Pakistan is in a religious minority district. Like Pakistan is Muslim majority. And we began doing some philanthropy for uh, religious minorities in the area. And then fast forward a couple of years, we began expanding, working in different religious organizations and churches and temples, helping build interfaith community, helping them fight legal cases, helping them raise money, helping them renovate, help like doing literacy workshops, other things like that. So I was doing this in high school. Uh, it's important to get started early. Like that's something we really want to emphasize in Kollegio as well. Like I was doing this my junior summer, a lot of this, and it was pretty intense, but definitely it paid dividends, and they were able to see the work that I was doing, and I think they really appreciated it. So I think that was another aspect of my college application that really stood out.
Okay, awesome. Sounds good. Um, so in terms of like you mentioned how important essays are, so how did you manage to like personalize your essay, and what tips would you tell someone when they're thinking of writing their essays?
Yeah, so there's different types of essays, right? So there's supplemental essays, then there's common app essays. And for the common app, it's very important that it tells a personal story, that it be about you. It should not be talking about my parents did this, or my friend did this, or my teacher told me this. Like it's okay to have those elements, but 95% of the essay should be laser focused on you. And that's like my number one piece of advice. Number two is like resolving an issue. There needs to be some conflict, and it needs to be resolved by you. So this is a little bit more of an abstract concept, but let's say there's an issue, right? So like I can give you the example of my common app. Also, by the way, so I think we have everyone's email list here. So everyone who joins the session, I will send my common application to afterwards. I think that should be pretty easy to do. So yeah, I'll send my common application to everyone who joined the session. And yeah, hopefully that will be helpful. And then I have like a whole bunch of them. So in the future, we can continue to distribute those. And yeah, so this is one piece. Symbolism is important, having some sort of abstract symbolism. So for example, in my essay, I wrote about moving around a lot. So if you were here earlier in the webinar, you would know that I spent a lot of time moving around and living in different places. So that was like what my essay was essentially about, and not being able to fit in. And the symbolism was talking about packaging tape. So that's like an interesting piece. It can be about a mundane object. It could be like a cup, and it could be, a pen, something like this. And then you kind of expand it, relate it to your story. Then going back to the conflict piece, it's like I said, really important that you are resolving the conflict yourself. So it can't be, I was being bullied in school, and then my dad came and he told the bullies to go away, and now I am very happy. Like that doesn't work. It has to be like I was able to, um, do XYZ, and because I was able to do XYZ, like I'm now in a better situation. I solved the problem myself. So usually what's easiest is if there's a perspective change. So for example, in my essay, I talked about uh the, like I said, moving around a lot being tough for me. And then my perspective change was that, oh, I didn't need to fit into whatever specific place that I was, you know, living in at that time. I was myself, and I was, the sum of my parts, and that's greater than the, like, there's a saying or something like that, the sum is greater than the whole, or the sum of the parts are greater than the individual parts. So it was very nice. And then I basically had a perspective change that solved my issue, and that was able to, impress the admissions committee.
Okay, cool. So to summarize, I think a few things are to be laser focused on yourself and your own experiences. You should be focused on resolving an issue um yourself, like just to show like independence and just how your thought processes work. And symbolism is very important here. Okay.
Mhm.
So moving on, what was like your biggest struggle while applying to colleges and how did you overcome it?
Oof. I think the number one aspect is the stress. So I take a lot of pressure. I nowadays maybe a little bit less than before, but it's definitely extremely, extremely stressful. And I think that was definitely the toughest part for me. And trying to figure out what is good advice, who to trust, what I should be listening to, what I shouldn't be listening to. So that's something that, we really try to do in Kollegio, is create something that is best of class in all of the resources that we provide, so students can learn to trust it. Also, getting it reviewed by a bunch of my friends in different Ivy League and top universities. And that was essentially, you know, super duper important. And yeah, that's kind of where we focused on. And the stress was extremely tough, trying to stay on top of everything, trying to juggle academics, social life, extracurriculars, writing the essays. I honestly think, like, I still think that 6 month period of my life was probably the most stressful period of my life. And I'm a college graduate now. So it is definitely tough. Good luck to everyone here. I hope that we can, you join our Discord communities. I believe Mosum sent the Discord like links in the chat. Maybe you can just send them again for new people who join Mosum. Like we want to create vibrant communities where people can talk to each other, kind of express their doubts, their concerns, and also just feel good about having a community around them. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And for the universities like Stanford and Stanford itself, what would you say is a good SAT and ACT score?
Yeah, so like this information is pretty uh available online. So there's a 25th percentile and a 75th percentile. So depending on how strong the rest of your application is, you should be somewhere within that range. So you can get admitted on the 25th percentile, but if, let's say, you require scholarships and the school is need aware, need aware means that they take into account whether or not you require scholarships to admit you or not. So if that is the scenario, then yeah, like you probably want to be on the 75th percentile. So generally the golden rule is 1500 plus. SAT scores are great. It really depends on your own scenario. So if you're, in a specific area that's maybe a rural area of the United States or something like that, and you, like, the school is need blind to you, and you have like a 1350 SAT score, but your GPA and stuff is good, you could get into Stanford. But if you're an international student, uh, it's very competitive. Maybe you need 1500 to get into a top school. So yeah, generally I would say aim for 1500. If you're doing a STEM degree, you probably should have like 780 or 800 in math. Yeah, so that's kind of what I would say is good. My own SAT score was 1520. Uh, yeah, which was pretty normal for Stanford.
Okay, great. Sounds good. So I think that was most of the questions for you. Muazzam, do you want to do the poll now?
You're muted, Mosum.
Yes, yes, I'll just stop that as well. I think that we could go to the next slide with that as well.
Oh, yeah. So join Kollegio. I don't know. I think most of you are Kollegio users already. Oh, can we add a poll question, Mosum? What's your favorite thing about Kollegio, and what is one thing you'd like to be better? I realize I'm telling you this extremely last minute, but if we could do that, I would love to see. Because I think a lot of people here um, are maybe Kollegio power users, so would love to get their feedback. Maybe people could write in the chat right now. Are most people like on Kollegio already? I'll just be reading the chat. Yeah, Kollegio ambassador selection is going to come out ASAP. Would a student with low SAT, ACT score but high GPA and school performance have a chance at entering good unis? What's a low SAT score? And do you need financial aid? Oh, there's a long one here. The transition from 10th to 11th was difficult. Okay, wait. I think this is a this or that poll. There's no option to write text in this MOSM.
Wait, let me just look into that.
Or at least I'm not able to do it. Maybe other people can. You're muted, Mosum.
It should have an option for what do you call it, text. I'm just gonna relaunch it, so let me know in the chat if you guys are able to add the text or not.
Okay. So can people just write if they're able to add right answers in the chat so we can know? What is Kollegio Ambassador Program? Okay, chat works. Does sports play a major role in your application? If you were in sports, you have participated. Yeah, so I love playing sports. I played rugby. I was vice captain of my high school rugby team, and I also did rowing in my first 2 years of high school, and I was captain of my rowing team for that school. Honestly, does not matter that much. Like, it's a nice activity to have. Are they going to take you because you're a good soccer player in your school? The answer is no, unfortunately. They will take you if you are the best soccer player in your country and you got recruited to the soccer team. But yeah, otherwise, no. So while the poll is being answered, also people on the favorite Kollegio feature poll question, please, sorry, I got a call. On the favorite, yeah, Kollegio answer, please leave any feedback you have. I'll just put it here also. Meeting group chat, Senan at Kollegio or support. If there are any features that you guys would like to see, any things that you want us to improve, anything like that, please do support for Kollegio.ai. So I know people are answering this poll. Thank you everyone who's answering this. And this is the QR code to sign up for Kollegio if you haven't. Campus Ambassadors is our new program that's being launched soon. So I think today the emails are going to go out. Is it today or tomorrow, Alia?
It's today.
Okay, today the emails are going to go out for people who got in. And if you didn't get in, we'll probably do a round two. So don't worry about that. And yeah, let's go to the next part. What's your dream university? Oh, are we meant to read the poll results? Why don't you ask me some more questions, Alia?
Yeah, sure, we can go ahead. Okay, cool. So I think the most demanded topic that students wanted us to discuss was essays and personal statements. So I
Mhm.
think we kind of touched upon how to write an essay that is a true reflection of yourself. So do you have any other tips on how to craft like a compelling personal statement or essay that would really stand out? Anything like
Yeah.
specific, or you think we've covered that?
Yeah, no, I think I covered some of the topics, but I can expand a little bit more. So, needs to have a clear conflict, needs to be about you. The conflict should be resolved by you. Some element of symbolism is great. And a little bit at the end, you can tie in maybe one paragraph about your extracurriculars and how it relates back to your story. Like it's all about telling a cohesive narrative, right? So there needs to be a silver line that goes throughout the whole application. And that's really how you stand apart for getting into these top schools. So, uh, yeah, that's super important. And then supplemental essays, there's a few types. So Kollegio, by the way, has like all of this, but one is why university, why major. These are the two most popular supplemental essays, and you really have to have it down. So for why major, it should be related to your story, right? So you can say that, okay, I did, uh, let's say, for example, let me pick on someone in the audience. Let's say there's Joshua Kim. So maybe Joshua, he lives in a very polluted country and he wants to study environmental engineering, right? So this is very clear why he wants to study his major. It's related to his story. We should not talk about the same thing that is talked about in the main Common App essay, right? We want to have new topics that should be related to each other, but it should not be completely new and independent. And then the why university essay, the number one tip that I have for all of you is that we should not essentially have a plug and play system where you can just put in your put in the name of one university like Harvard, and then I can just change all of the names to Yale, and that why university essay works. Like it really needs to be differentiated, different, I can't say word, but it needs to be different for each university. And they really care about how much time and effort you spend on crafting that essay. So those are a little bit of advice on those two supplemental pieces as well. And try to understand the personality of the university as well and what type of essays they like, and things like that. So hopefully, as we keep doing these sessions, and we're going to be trying to do it every 2, 3 weeks, maybe we'll increase the cadence as well. We're going to be sharing, like going over people's applications and things like that as well. This was just the first general session. Mozam, by the way, can we end the poll and see like people's results? Is that something that can happen?
Yes, you should be able to see them now.
I cannot.
I think people can. Maybe you're sharing your screen, but I can kind of like show you some of them as well.
I click share results. Is it because I'm sharing my screen, I can't see them?
Yes. So yeah, I can kind of like go over some of them as
Can,
well. A
can
lot
you
of them.
can you share your screen and I can look at it?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Okay. Alia, is there another question?
Yeah, so is there any like place that maybe people would be able to see sample essays?
Yeah, so sample essays is definitely something that we're going to be launching on the Kollegio platform sooner. But yeah, we're going to be giving out a lot of tools to people. So that's definitely something that we're going to be doing, and tools and applications and things like that. So we will be sharing that with people.
Okay, awesome. Um, personal.
Mozam, are you sharing your screen?
Yes. Can you
Yes,
not see it?
he
Okay,
is.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What is your dream university? Okay, interesting.
There's a lot of MIT on the first page, but yeah, I see it here as well.
Yeah, I see a lot of like NYU as well.
Okay, very interesting.
I don't see Stanford as much, which might change after this.
Yeah,
So our favorite Kollegio feature.
ironic. Will one B plus on my transcript be likely to put me out of the running for the Ivy League? Definitely not. Don't worry. Always apply, try your best, make everything else as strong as possible. Okay, cool. People like the different.
Yeah, and one thing people would change about the college admission process.
Yeah. So there are a lot of schools that don't require essays. So that's just one thing I want to flag. I saw someone say that. So if you want, you can go on the Kollegio platform and you can just click school, and then if there's a school that doesn't require essays, you can just like filter there and you can see which ones require and which ones don't require essays. Yeah. Okay. So I see a lot of questions about extracurriculars, so that can be the
Yeah.
next piece that I expand on. And Alia, maybe you can just send me a list of questions in the chat that you're thinking of asking, and then I can
Yeah,
like
sure. The
confuse
next
between them.
bit is actually for extracurriculars. So the first
Yeah.
question was, does quality or the of the extracurriculars matter more or the quantity? And which extracurriculars do you think stand out to top universities?
Yeah, for sure. So I'll answer this question, but I'm saying, Alia, can you just send me the list, please, of like the questions you want to ask in the chat so I can just pick and choose between them?
Yeah, yeah. I'm just sending that.
Yeah, sounds good. So extracurriculars are extremely important, right? Because it's part of your overall story that you're trying to tell about your platform. So let's say I want to study political science. The first question is how many, yeah, I saw this question. I'll delete the chat because it's distracting me, but we're going to share my application with everyone who joined this. So two things actually. So if you want to get the application, you have to comment on our most recent Instagram post, most recent 3 Instagram posts. Comment on most recent 3 Instagram posts. And if you do this, like and comment on them, then we will share the applications with you. So yeah, please do that. So I was talking about extracurriculars, and yeah, so it's important to have extracurriculars related to your major. So there's in the Common App, I'm just going to focus on the Common App right now. 10 extracurriculars. You generally want to have 10 out of 10 for top schools, right? You want to have extracurriculars that go all 4 years. So not just in the final 2 years, with stuff in ninth grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, right? So that's something that's very important. Then we also want to have spikes. So areas of demonstrated interest. So for example, in my application, my 2 spikes were around community service and then also around political science, political activism, and these two were kind of interrelated. So I also applied for political science to Stanford. So that's something you should keep in mind. That let's say if let me pick on someone else in the audience. If Ellen, if she wants to study English, she needs to have English related activities on her activity list. That's really, really key because let's say if I don't have anything related to physics, I've never taken a physics class, but I say I want to study physics, it doesn't make sense, right? So it's really important that that whole narrative be cohesive and kind of related to everything. Did you send me the questions, Alia, by the way?
Yes, they're in the chat.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And yeah, do the quality of extracurriculars matter the most or the quantity? I think you need 10, unfortunately. For top schools, like I saw everyone was interested in applying to top schools. 10 is really, really necessary. So that's something that I really would recommend. And then, of course, you have to have high quality ones as well. And yeah, number two, I already answered. Random. So let's say if I had 10 activities, right? I'll tell you how I would split it up. Like in a perfect scenario. So I would have two spikes, right? My first spike would have four activities that were related to my major, right? Let's say I want to do mechanical engineering. So four activities related to mechanical engineering. Doesn't need to be high-powered internships. It can be something as simple as, you know, it needs to be tangentially related, right? It can be I worked at a car garage, for example. That's related to mechanical engineering. Then the second spike could be something that's a different field of interest. So the US application process, they're really looking for holistic applications. So the second one could be like, even if you're applying for mechanical engineering, the second one could be Spanish. And it's like, oh, I worked with people in my community to help them learn Spanish or help them learn English. Spanish speaking people in my community to help them learn English, right? Second spike. So that first one has four, second one has three, then maybe one or two interest activities. So maybe this person has done a biology internship. That's totally fine. As long as the other two spikes are very clear, maybe this person was captain of the soccer team. That's totally fine. I that's not the school is not going to admit them just because they were captain of the soccer team, but it helps them show a well-rounded profile of a person who has multiple interests. Maybe that person has, plays an instrument, right? So these are just some examples. Then one activity, so when we're making a really high-powered profile, we try to keep one activity that is in and around humanization, making the admissions officer smile, essentially, right? Where when we think about this, the admission officer is looking at a million reasons about why not to take you, right? If you're applying to a top school like MIT, Harvard, Yale, you have so many people who come in and are extremely qualified. So they're looking for reasons not to take you. And it's really important that you show them why they should take you. And you also are very clear to them what you're going to do in their class. But also, it's important that you're a human being, right? So maybe one activity can be babysitting my siblings, one can be taking my dogs for a walk, right? Something like that. One activity to balance out a strong profile is something that's important and interesting. How important are extracurricular activities and volunteer work in the admission process compared to academic achievements? So it's balancing. Let's say 25% essays, 25% recommendations, 25% extracurriculars, 25% academics. So academics is the first thing they look at, right? Let's say I'm MIT, I get 50,000 applications, I have 2,000 spots, right? First thing I do is I say that, okay, everyone who has below a B plus average, I'm just going to throw away their applications. So that's what they literally do. They throw away the first 25,000. They're like, I don't care about these. Now let me focus on the rest. So academics is the most important reason. And it's the way that you get someone to read your application, right? Then we go to the next point, which is extracurriculars. So extracurriculars can help define you. So the rest, the other 75% need to tell a story, right? Your recommendations, and I'm going to talk about recommendations in a second, then your extracurriculars, and then your essays. All of this needs to work together to tell a story. So that's something that's super important. How can I effectively navigate and narrate my extracurricular activities in my essays? So let me share some examples. So for everyone who comments like with their Instagram on the Instagram on the top 3 posts, I will send, and my team and I will send one entire complete common application. It will be my one. If people go to the TikTok as well, Alia, could you link the TikTok, please, in the chat and comment on the top 3 and the last 3 TikToks as well, and like and comment. then we'll send another one. So this is just a way to help us get engagement, help us get the word out there. Like it's 100% free product about Kollegio, and we really care about that. Uh, yeah, and we just want to help make sure uh, that as many people can access this tool as possible. And what if our ECs don't quite match the major we want to major in? So this is a common problem. So I studied economics and international relations at Stanford, and I applied for political science. So it's possible to apply for a different major and switch the major in most United States schools. There are some exceptions, like uh, engineering schools can be tough to switch into and things like that. But generally speaking, you don't have to worry about that. But if it's possible, make a decision of whether you want to apply for the major you are most certain you want to do, or maybe a slightly different major. That's definitely something that's within the realm of possibility. Awesome. So thank you, Alia, for sharing the TikTok. Instagram is just Kollegio. Uh, Jada, if you don't have those accounts, maybe you can just make them, or you can like ask your friends. We're gonna try to make up a referral system. We want to give all of you resources, and it really matters to us that we distribute these resources. So that's something that we really care about. Are there more questions, Alia, or maybe we should go into a product demo?
Yeah, I think we can go into a product demo. There are some questions around choosing the right college. So I think it would be helpful to run them through the college search feature, especially.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Mozam, is it possible to make people not be able to write on the screen, please? Or we can kick out
Yeah.
Yusuf. Yeah.
All right, I'll just.
Yeah, just kick him, please. This is like all over the screen. Okay, nice. Hopefully it will fade away. I don't know how this works. Annotate. Clear. Clear all drawings. Okay, nice. So this is the Kollegio platform. People were talking about different ways that they essentially can find their best fit colleges. So maybe I'm going to pick on someone in the audience. Who should I pick on? Henry Chen, would you like to come and talk? I unmuted you if you'd like to. No worries if not.
Yeah. I would like to talk about it.
Okay, awesome. So Henry, tell me what type of school, like maybe give a quick intro about yourself, like who are
Okay.
you? How did you hear about
Yeah.
this? What are you interested in
So,
applying? Yeah.
uh, I'm Henry Chen, and I'm a high school student from Cambodia. So I'm pretty interested in Stanford and Harvard because I joined the SUMAC program, the math camp one, and also
Mhm.
being selected to another science program, whatever that thing is. So I'm pretty interested in Stanford, especially the people there. Yeah, so for my top choice, I choose Stanford, and then I choose
Okay.
Harvard because I think it is aligned with my quality. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's super cool. So one thing I will talk about college lists, it's very important to build a balanced college list. So here you can see on the Kollegio platform, we have reaches, targets, and safeties. So maybe Henry, for example, maybe he's a top 1% student in the world, right? How did you hear about Kollegio, by the way, Henry?
Yeah, through Instagram. It's like I'm searching for some, yeah, like college help since I don't have my family cannot afford any like paid mentors. So yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm super glad that you found us, and I'm super glad that you found it useful. But yeah, so let's say so one, like Henry could be a top 1% student, and maybe like Harvard, Stanford would love to have him. But one advice I would give to Henry is you should apply to some other schools as well, just because we don't want to be in a scenario where you don't get into any school, right? There are a lot of people who are very brilliant. And, I got into Stanford, but maybe there are people with better grades than me, but for whatever reason, they aren't able to get in. So it's important to have targets and safeties as well. So that's one thing that I'd like everyone to do on the Kollegio platform, be able to filter between targets and safeties and see what schools are best for them. And we basically do this based on their SAT, GPA, and ACT. So Henry, can you share about your GPA and SAT?
My GPA, because I'm studying IB here, so my GPA is 41 out of 42 with 4 HLs. And my
Okay.
I do ACT, and my composite ACT score is 36.
Okay, awesome. So let's do this. And did you say 41 out of 42?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically the way people also have a big question about how to use this GPA. So weighted GPA is out of 5. So 5 is the highest that you can put in. So if Henry has 41 out of 42, I can just do 41 over 42 and then multiply it by 5, and he has a 4.88. So these are basically the schools so the top schools are going to be reach schools for him still, but we can look at some targets and safeties as well. So Henry, do you have any preference for location or what type of campus you want to study in?
Uh, I will love California, like near that place. So yeah, maybe use and also Vanderbilt because I'm doing a research project with the Vanderbilt
Okay,
PhD. So yeah,
so let's look at California first. And
yeah.
then do you have a preference for city, urban, suburban, rural?
No, no, no.
Filter. And what do you want to study?
Math.
Okay, nice. So we can do sort by academic, math. Is there majors here? Sort by rankings, math. Awesome. So here we can see the schools. So maybe there's one school here, University of California, Riverside. So I bet, Henry, this might be a school that you probably haven't thought of before, but it has a high ranked math program. So
Yeah.
maybe that could be an interesting safety school for you to apply to.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's yeah, definitely something to keep in mind. And so I've sorted it by math in California. So these are all schools in California. And you can see like, okay, UCSD might be more prestigious, but maybe
Mm-hmm.
if Henry wants to study math, like UC University of California, Riverside would be a better program for him. So
Yeah.
that's one example of the way that we can use this. So a lot of people also asked about profile, about starting essays. So I want to show everyone this feature that maybe people don't know too much about. Thank you so much, by the way, Henry. And
Yeah.
if you ever want to chat with me, if anyone ever wants to chat with me, you can email me at senanbugs at kollegio.ai. So one, we're going to send everyone who comments on the Instagram and TikTok, either one or two, whether you can comment on one or both profiles. But yeah, like that's what we're going to do. And also, I want to keep in touch with people, join the Discord. It's something that's very important. But yeah, thank you so much, Henry. Let's take another student. Um, who
Thank you,
should we
sir.
take? Yeah, of course. Thank you so much. And please, one thing we're also going to do is like build up a referral system. So people who are able to refer their friends and help us get more users on Kollegio, we're going to help you review your essays. So that's something that we really want to do as well. So let's take, who should we take? Emmanuel Asimat. Are you there? Are you free to talk or able to talk? No worries if not. Okay, we can pick another one. Emilio Estrada. Okay, maybe we can take volunteers. Does someone want to raise their hand and go? Okay, Manoj, you don't count. I'm sorry. You're already very involved. Anyone else? Everyone is feeling shy. Ellen Donaldson. Hana Sudhan. Okay, some hands have been raised. Emilio, are you good to talk? You can unmute. Oh, I have to ask you to unmute. Sorry. I asked you to
Hey
mute
there.
him.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Yeah, thank you so much, Emilio. Where are you from? How did you hear about Kollegio in this webinar?
Um, I am a high school senior student from Guatemala City in Guatemala in Central America.
Oh, wow.
Um, and I got to hear about you throughout Instagram, I think, because yeah, same as I can't remember his name, but he said for
Okay.
a like a paid counselor. So I was trying to find out all the alternatives and options for it.
Okay, cool. So let's do this very quickly. Emilio, what do you want to study in college?
As of right now, I want to study biomedical engineering and maybe a minor in botany or plant sciences.
Minor in plant sciences. Okay. Sciences. Okay, so I'll just delete some of the stuff. Can you just tell me like some of your extracurriculars, like high level? 2 or 3. Emilio? Let me ask you to unmute again. Yeah, I asked you to unmute. Yeah. Does it keeps muting you for some reason?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Some extracurriculars. I have participated in. No, I have won a Central American. I have participated in Central American Championship of Track and Field. I am a holder of the national record for relays, and
Okay.
I was a TA for Stanford IGM bioengineering program, and I am a seminar and maths teacher at a local school for 12th and 11th graders.
Posted seminar. Okay, awesome. And let's do one more. What are some obstacles that you face in your life?
What would you like
And
would say an
anything,
obstacle?
anything.
Um, I don't know, maybe like not only the pandemic because I know that affected everyone, but during the pandemic I got really sick. So I couldn't perform as well as I wanted to do in both academics and athletics.
Sounds good. No worries. And what's your dream school?
Miami.
Miami. Do we have this? Oh, there's a bunch of. Okay. So let's say, I don't know if Miami has supplements. Okay, it does. So brainstorm topics on my background. So I want everyone to remember all the things we just put into the background for Emilio. And I really want to show all of you this really cool feature. So if you remember what we put in, like now you can see that it literally brainstorms ideas based on your background. And let's say this one, let's talk about track and field. I'm just going to answer this for the sake of time for you, Emilio, to go a little bit quicker. I ran with people of different backgrounds and got to meet people outside my community. So in the same way, so imagine when we were building Kollegio, we were thinking we want to give all of you the same service that people pay thousands of dollars for free. So this is the type of like personalized work that people like with expensive admissions counselors do. It made me learn people of different backgrounds are very similar and have similar wants, needs, and goals. So is this a feature that a lot of people knew about, or is it something that people didn't really know about? You can answer in the chat.
I'm really sorry. Did you asking something?
Yeah, no, I didn't. I was just asking people in the chat if they knew about this feature. Did you know about this feature,
Oh,
Emilio?
no, I didn't. But it's really cool. I'm gonna use it from now
Yeah.
on.
Together. What feature were you mostly using on Kollegio?
I have been using the activities one to make my activities
Okay.
list,
Okay.
and it's
So look,
been pretty useful and insightful. I really liked it.
okay, I'm glad. I'm glad. So yeah, so now we have this like topic. So I can say, cool idea, let's go with it. And now it's going to give me a plan based on my background on how I can write the essay. So does this seem like it's useful, Emilio?
Pretty much. I'm impressed, to be honest.
Okay, awesome. Wow, nobody knew about this. Amazing. But okay, I'm glad I could show this all to you. But awesome, super duper. I know we just have a few minutes left. So I'll say that So I'll say again, everyone, please comment on the Instagram and TikTok on the last 3 posts for each. And if you do one social media platform, Instagram, we'll send you one Common App PDF, full Common App PDF, which is mine. If you do the TikTok, we will send you another one, which is my friends who got into even more universities than me. He got into Stanford, Yale, and Dartmouth. So we'll send you both of those. Please join these Discord communities. We're going to host a bunch of cool events. We're going to host more webinars. It's going to be cool. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. Is there, yeah, anything I'm missing, Alia?
No, I think we're all good. We also dropped the link to sign up to Kollegio in case anyone hasn't done that.
Yeah. So people are asking about the pin posts or not. Honestly, just comment on as many posts as possible. Like we just need the support. We need more people joining the platform. We want all of you to love the platform and to help your friends on it. We can only keep it free if there are more people on the platform. So I really want to keep it free. We have investors in the company and stuff like that. It's super cool. Happy if people are interested in talking about, starting their own companies and stuff. We can have a session about that. We're going to have exclusive Discord communities for people who help us get signups, exclusive essay reviews, all sorts of stuff like that. And we don't want to like block you out of anything on the platform, but we want to incentivize you to help bring more people around. So yeah, this is the post essay survey. Please sign up, and that will be cool. Please sign up to Kollegio. Please fill out the survey. Please comment on the Instagram and the TikTok, and keep an eye on your email. Would people like text message notifications just because I have 100 of you here? Would love to ask. You can text in the chat. Yes, no. Gmail seems fine. Any other thoughts? Yes. Gmail, please. Yes. Yes, yes. Just email. Okay, it's a mix. Of course, happy Calculus Joe that we could help. I see people like both. So maybe we'll have one option where people can get notifications on their email, one option people can get notifications on text. But keep an eye on your email. We're going to be sending out, details on every feature on the platform so people can learn about it. And yeah, thank you so much. Thank you to Alia. Thank you to Mozam and the team. And yeah, we're all free to go. This is the end of the webinar. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.